away from that, well, we'll come back to it a little later here on the program, but away from that, Metro Mass Transit Limited workers on Monday called off their brief strike after meeting with Sector Minister Jifa Ativo. The brief strike affected operations, with commuters having to look for alternate transport. Emmanuel Ante was at the Tema Station branch to see how business is faring a day after the strike was called off.
Metro Mass workers on Monday called off their brief strike after a meeting with Sector Minister Jifa Ativo. The brief strike affected operations, with commuters having to look for alternative transport. This morning we are at the Kimbu terminal of the Metro Mass Transport to find out how business is faring. And a day after the strike was called off, I have with me here Mr. Srifi, who is managing this place, to tell us about how business has been faring so far. You're welcome to join me.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right. How is business now that there is no more strike?
We came as early as how we started operation, and we have buses who are conveying the passengers. They are here, and the strike is the strike is more over because there's an issue between the management and the union, and they call off between the 12 o'clock yesterday. So we started operation and we are still working. Since we have enough passengers here are waiting, anxious to board the bus to their various destinations.
All right. Now, I don't see a lot of the buses here, only two that I can see here. Why is that? Is it that probably all the buses have gone on operations, or they are now coming here?
And they are now coming. It started. Some are come earlier. We dispatch them to. So we normally are here. It's a shaman, Kimbu Tema, and a shaman Ho, and a Denta, Latte, and Somenya. So
some of the buses have already
left the terminal. So we are now waiting for those who are returning from Ashama. Yes, it's Ashama and Tema is almost express road. So that we are still waiting for them, and more too are coming from there.
Okay, now comparing today to yesterday, how busy is the place? I mean, are more passengers here, or now that you have resumed is reduced?
No, because we call off and they announced on radio. So yesterday, immediately we came, there was a queue here. More people know that we are returning, so there's a queue here, and today too they are coming. They know that we started work, so we are still anxious to do that.
Well, you heard it from Mr. Srifi, who is managing the Kimbu terminal here. Now we will go to the buses to speak to some of the passengers to see how yesterday's strike affected them and how happy or sad they are for today. Now you can see how packed the bus is now. I'm even having difficulty to go to see, to talk to some of the passengers. I have with me some of the passengers to talk to about how happy they are that now that the MMT has resumed work.
Yo, and I don't young si and ran a man or your watching and be bring. And so now I might be a quiet man about your what or your pa. And my want your near money and young fan coffee pavilion. And the young is saying, yes, you come out to your Quanqualanico school. You be my mom, the co equity do honor near the near the Muabe man. T.S. Ramos said, Metro Mass, dear, Omo Manim Rada Biamaye. And here for no young crown, yes, you have a twadia near Coton and Uncle and Yabiaco school edit. Yet I must say, so may be a kind army. All
right, now she is saying that they are happy that Metro Mass has resumed work, because yesterday, what happened yesterday really affected their business. They were unable to carry their goods to their various destinations. Now that it is back, they are praying that it stays like that. Let me speak to another person who, bus nanye jumano. Then how did they?
Higher pa, yaka, yeah, for drop it confuse higher. Eti musu mu boye nti ye pese mu boye na yesu yetimi nya ka akoto ye niama nti ye pamucho mu boye.
Well, she's also saying that it really affected them yesterday as the buses were unable to work yesterday. Now I will try. I'm having difficulty moving to other places to speak to other people. Bus na nyejuma then they see it.
Oh, one pa dunyama baha drop in 300,000. Enti mugwaye, muna mugwaye kaka.
And now be how do you feel?
Oh, yeah. Menya jipa be meru anu menya kan efo.
Okay, mom pacho enra etisema. Enra we compare enra ni na who feel say?
Enra ne ma time esese me de ton me ne ma no. Time na pa ho fi se menya ka ankontie ha ye pa nti mombo aye na de be emdra.
Well, all that they are saying is that yesterday's strike action really affected their business, but today that it is back, they hope it will stay the same. Emmanuel Ante, hand you over back to the studio.
It's limited. You recall that's the call of their brief strike yesterday after they threatened an indefinite strike. They spoke to Sector Minister Jifati, spoke with them, and they decided to call off their strike after she promised them 2 weeks to deal with their grievances. Now let's go across the regions. We'll start off with the Ashanti region, where most of this started from. Ohime Terry has joined us from there. Ohime.
Hello, Kevin.
What can you report today about work in the Ashanti region as far as the Metro Mass Transit Limited is concerned?
Yes, there is brisk business at the Metro Mass Transit Yard in Kumasi. Comparing the situation to yesterday, there's far difference. Now you can see that life is gradually breathing into the Metro Mass operations. After 4 a.m. when I got to the terminal, I realized that the operations had been restored, and all the commuters that lost the opportunity to board Metro Mass buses yesterday had the opportunity to do so this morning. So as at 6:28 a.m., Sanga, for instance, they had dispatched 3 buses, and then for 2 buses had left. Talking of Tamale, 5 buses had left as at 6:26 a.m. that I monitored situation and developments at the Metro Mass Transit. So at 7 a.m. this morning, at Sunyani terminal, at the Sunyani point, 8 buses had left, and at Obuasi terminal, 9 buses had left. So you can see that indeed the commuters who did not have the opportunity to use Metro Mass Transit buses this time around did so. But another issue is that at a point I realized the food vendors who used to operate at the bus terminal, for instance, yesterday they were not there. Some came, they left early. But this morning when I went to the bus terminal, they were there and they were doing their business. So I spoke to a couple of them, and the information they gave me was that yesterday was a very bad day for them. They providing para services at the station. They did not have any information about prior information about the Metro Mass workers' strike, but today they were back in business and they are operating normal business. So in Kumasi, I will say that indeed there's life at the terminal. I can also report that the winding queues at the Kumasi terminal compared to yesterday. Yes.
Very well. Now let's talk about these commuters. How do they feel about the workers back at post?
Yes, I spoke to some of them, but unfortunately, because it's no video, I can't send it. They expressed joy, happiness about the resumption of or the return of the workers. Some of them were not happy because they had no prior information about this particular strike action. they went to the seminar only to be told that the workers will not be working, and that has actually affected their movement. Some of them had to sleep over until today that they had the opportunity to continue the journey or continue to their destination. So they were happy that Metro Mass services have been restored. But another issue that they raised is that at the seminar, they were spending more time in getting the tickets because a lot of people have climbed into in the seminar, and now you have to spend more time before it will be your turn to be served. So that is the situation that they go through. But let me also chip in that some unscrupulous persons were also taking advantage of the situation. At a point, I had a report that some of the people who work there or some of the other people who come to do business will buy the tickets in bulk and later sell to unsuspecting commuters who want to travel and then who are, in the haste to board the bus. So instead of, for instance, getting a wild ticket for 30 Ghana cedis, this time around you go and then you get it at 400.
But has this come to the notice of authorities at the Ashanti Region Depot?
No, for officials, it has not come to their notice officially, but fortunately for me, I was there with one of the senior staff workers, and he witnessed this particular situation. So at one instance, he was called to intervene. So for this one, I know very well that this official will send a signal to the bosses at Metro Mass Transit so that they do something about this particular issue.
Now it looks like work is going on really well for the Metro Mass in the Ashanti region. Now, that will also translate into bad business for the other commercial drivers who took advantage of the strike yesterday morning. Tell us about them today.
Yes, they were virtually absent at the Metro Mass Transit yard, unlike yesterday, where dozens of them queue up to shout for passengers, especially those who plied their trade from between Kumasi and the western regions, central regions, and then the northern regions, and the upper east and upper west. We were all there to solicit for passengers. That was the situation. But this morning, the place where they used to park yesterday was virtually empty, and all that I saw was Metro Mass transit buses and people taxis who either have to transport passengers to the terminal, to and fro the terminal. So today I will say that indeed it's a very bad day for the commercial transporters because they were not allowed to have a field day as
very well.
They did yesterday.
Now these drivers themselves and generally the workers of the Metro Mass Transit Limited, how would you describe the way they are working? Are they enthusiastic about work?
Yes, they were giving in their best. Yes, I had the opportunity to speak to some of them, and they said that left to them, they would have asked that management extend yesterday's indefinite strike to today, so that they also have the opportunity to also express their grievances to the world that indeed things are not well at Metro Mass company. For instance, some of them had the courage to tell me how much they earn, and they wanted me to even speak to officials on their behalf so that officials of Metro Mass Transit Services will improve their condition of service and also at least improve things in the company.
With the way business is going on briskly in the Ashanti region, what do you know about how much the Ashanti region may have lost to the strike in terms of finances?
It will be very difficult to quantify the loss in terms of finances, but when I spoke to the deputy operations manager, who is also in charge of the northern sector, in the person of our largest Stephen Abukari, he tried to explain and give me a sense of understanding how much they will lose. For instance, yesterday, And for the information that I picked from his office, it means that each day Metro Mass Transit makes a space of 7,000 Ghana cedis. That is the minimum that they make every day. So if you are talking about a strike action, that actually grounded the operations of an entire.
So we could have lost as much as 7,000 cities alone in the Ashanti region alone.
Yes, that would be the minimum figure for now.
Minimum figure indeed. Thank you very much, Ohime, for that report. Ohime Interior joined us from the Ashanti region. From there, we can go to the northern region. Mohammed Hashmin has been over the telephone for a while now. Mohammed. Hello, Mohammed.
Yes. Hello, Kimini.
Tell us about the northern region now that activities of the Metro Mass Transit Limited have resumed.
Hello?
I'm asking that you tell us about activities of the Metro Mass Transit Limited in the northern region today, now that they have resumed work.
Well, normal services have resumed. After yesterday in the evening, passengers who wanted to travel to the various states were given passes to travel to. And then this morning when I visited the place, passengers to Accra, Kumasi, Echima, and Takoradi that has always been active at the Metro Mass Transit point in Tamale was very, very active.
I see. Now let's try and describe active. Exactly how do you mean when you say active?
Well, because some people were unable to travel yesterday, and they had the information that the MMT have called off their strike, they were rushing to get tickets to their various destinations, because some of the routes are such that Metro Mass goes once in a day. So if you are unable to go maybe today, you just have to wait for another 24 hours before you can get back to that place, especially some of the hardest reached districts in the region.
I see. Now, how is this impacting, or how is this having an impact on other forms of transportation in the northern region?
Temene, as you may be aware, the Ghana Civil Aviation has cancelled all flights to Tamale. So a lot of passengers now have shifted their attention to road transport, and this is having a lot of impact on the major transport point areas, because people cannot have access to flights. So a lot of people are going to the Metro Mass Transit point and then other stations to get transport to the area. But because relatively people will get cheaper prices at the Metro Mass Transit, a lot of people are trooping in there to get passes to their various destinations.
Now, you've been in touch with some of these workers who have gone back to post. What is it that they have been telling you about the decision of their leaders to return to work?
Well, some of them said after yesterday when they were unable to get vehicles to their various destinations, it affected them a lot. Some said they were traveling down south to do some businesses over there, but because they were unable to go, it affected them.
No, I'm talking about the Metro Mass Transit Limited workers themselves. Are they happy to be at post again?
When I spoke to some of them, they still have issues. They want authorities to attend to the issues that they have raised. And the assurance that they have gotten from the authorities, they want the authorities to put that into action. According to them, they just don't want it to just be a message that they have pour out in the general public just to influence them to go back to work, and then 1 or 3 days they will not hear anything positive.
So would you say that you're happy to be at post?
for now, they are happy to be at post because the assurances that they have gotten from their authorities, according to them, they are happy. But they will be monitoring to see how they will translate that assurance into action.
Mohammed, I'm grateful for your time. Mohammed Hashmin joined us from the northern region where business is back on track as far as the Metro Mass Transit Limited is concerned, and it's even better because of flight cancellation due to weather challenges is concerned. It means that the Metro Mass workers now are able to load on some more people. Now, when I return, there are a lot more issues to discuss, especially when it comes to this particular Metro Mass Transit Limited call off of a strike. We'll go across the other regions and find out how business has turned around because of that. Don't go away.